Today, we will talk about top 10 biggest bosses in video games. Many action-oriented video games are defined by the massive battles that take place against particularly superpowered foes known as bosses. This loose term somehow stuck and became official over the years, and game developers have taken it upon themselves to capitalize on the moniker by designing increasingly more unique and creative boss characters. The top 10 biggest bosses in video games are here. 10. Mundus, DMC, Devil May Cry. It's about time we all admit that Ninja Theory's take on the Devil May Cry franchise is actually pretty solid. It's not what most fans wanted, but it does have its champions, mainly for its sleek level design and fun gameplay. In DMC, you are pitted against Mundus, a demon in human form that has been manipulating humanity through, well, capitalism. Usually he looks like a regular guy, a little slimy and smug, you know, a corrupt businessman. And then you set him off, and suddenly, he's quite literally consuming entire blocks of the city to form a colossal body of metal and concrete. 9. The Storm, Frostpunk. This might be cheating. Frostpunk is a strategy, city-building game. There are no battles to be won, not in the traditional sense. You can't physically fight your impending doom, but you can prepare for it. First, you hear about the storm from straggler refugees. Then in the world map, where you send scouts and outpost teams, you see it. A raging harbinger of seemingly inevitable extinction. The massive storm engulfs the map bit by bit until every place you ever explored is frozen in endless ice. Soon you will be in its grips too. It descends upon you, upon your people, the ultimate trial of your competence. 8. The Imprisoned, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. In The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, you will face a lot of foes. Some of them will be slender weirdos who can't help but stick their overly long tongue out at you. Some of them will be multi-armed mechanical guardians, and some will be deeply uninspired. And then there's the Imprisoned, a giant, scaled, slug-like creature with a gaping maw of teeth and surprisingly vulnerable fingers and toes. You don't fight the Imprisoned, really, it's more like a race against time. You have to prevent him from reaching the surface before he can reach the sealed temple, though each encounter differs from the last. He consumes the screen with his size, and if you let him, he'll consume the world itself. 7. Elden Beast, Elden Ring. The final boss of Elden Ring is a sight to behold. Galaxies and constellations form its massive body, barely contained within the confines of its skin. A neck that is too long, with a face, if it can be called a face, that is wholly alien. Wings like those of dragonflies. Numerous arms with spindly fingers, one gripping a golden sword. It's beautiful, it's terrible. Taking up a solid chunk of the screen, your first meeting with this cosmic entity may have you shuddering in anticipation. You know this will be a hard fight. How could it not, when it seems like the worlds will manifest itself to stand in your way? 6. Adamantoise, Final Fantasy 15. It can be hard to keep track of your party when you're in the thick of your fight with the Adamantoise in Final Fantasy 15. Its mere legs can take up the entire screen, making Noctis and his pals little blips of nothing against the newly awakened cranky beast. Fighting it is always a challenge, even if you're at max level. It can take a solid hour to dwindle its health down. 5. The Reapers, Mass Effect. The bellowing call of the Reapers of Mass Effect strikes fear into even the most seasoned player. How can you not be afraid when they blot out the sky with their arrival? Varying in size from a modest 150 meters to an entire 2 kilometers in height, each is a civilization. A forgotten people turned into a biosynthetic creature of pure destruction. You fight them, personally, more than once. Taking them down is no easy feat, regardless if you're dealing with a smaller destroyer or the humanoid abomination that lurks in the collector base. 4. Volantis, Brother Moon, Dead Space 3. Undead monsters are awful enough. They're nothing compared to an undead moon though. The Brother Moon of Dead Space is the decisive battle of the third and final entry of the series. An eldritch horror of the highest order. This Brother Moon is, thankfully, incomplete, yet no less deadly. This is a planet eater, a world destroyer. It would be one thing if this terrible creature were little more than an oversized animal. But no, it is sentient. And it is so hungry. 3. Dragon God, Demon Souls. You don't even see the entirety of this Demon Souls boss. That's how unbelievably huge it is. The Dragon God is a shell of what it once was, the fossilized bones of a dead god fused into magma in an ancient prison. If it hits you, you're finished. Luckily, those who imprisoned this massive creature provided a failsafe to ensure it would never escape. Since you can't fight it conventionally, you must rely on ballistics to kill this resurrected demon. 2. Dark Beast Ganon, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Already intimidating enough in his patchwork imitation of a humanoid body, Ganon eventually sheds that mortal coil for a new one. Dark Beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild is a monstrous, boar-like entity made of fuchsia flames and pure darkness. He tramples along Hyrule Field, destroying everything in his path. You can't fight him alone. The final stand of Hyrule itself requires the use of your trusty horse. Can't outrun Ganon on foot, and more importantly, you need Zelda's help to reveal the weak spots on Dark Beast Ganon's massive body. 1. The Colossi, Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is an entire game about fighting bosses whose existence seems to bend reality. These are masses of creatures that roam the forbidden edges of the world, and you must kill them to revive a sacrificed girl to whom you are devoted. Monstrous though they seem, you may come to regret every life you snuff out to achieve your goals. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.